Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I've got a fantastic XRP update. We are going to talk about several different things, including how many central banks Ripple is actually working with. James Wallace himself is telling us it's 30 or more. Believe it or not, the haters are going to hate, but you and I are going to be happy in the end. First of all, let's go ahead and start off. This is from Cypress Demoniker. He says, wow, y'all see this? Y'all see this? Over 400 banks and institutions discussing the digital transformation. Notice to everybody on this list that Ripple is the only blockchain infrastructure company on this list. You guys got to pay attention to this because it really does matter. Here's Ripple right here. And then you have people like the federal government. You have Bank of the Bahamas, Bank of America. I mean, guys, Ripple is at the forefront of all of this innovation. You know that. All right. And also today, the government of Palau will commence a pilot project for the new US dollar backed stablecoin. Understand this, guys. Palau does not have a central bank. That is why they created a dollar denominated stablecoin on the public XRP ledger. So the people in Palau could do it for microloans and all kinds of really cool things. They don't have credit cards in the country of Palau, and so this could really help out the people of Palau as well as businesses in Palau. Also, the tokenization of real-world assets like carbon credits, it's a powerful use case for blockchain technology. Ripple has invested over $100 million in carbon credits and in the carbon credits market. And let's just read this a little bit. The tokenization of real-world assets is one of the most enduring use cases for blockchain technology and digital assets. According to the recent reports by Boston Consulting Group, puts the total estimated value of tokenized RWA's market upwards of 16 trillion by 2030. Personally, guys, I think this number is going to be much higher. The reason for that is we're all moving to this new blockchain-based infrastructure. And as quantum computers come online and bad actors get those, it's only going to be a matter of time before the entire SWIFT banking system kind of collapses, right? Because that's old technology and it can be hacked. If it can be hacked with regular computers like that hackers are using today, think about what they can do with a quantum computer, right? Very different. It says tokenization of real-world assets refers to the process of placing the ownership of tangible assets, including equities, bonds, precious metals, investment funds, real estate mortgages, carbon credits, and other financial instruments. Do you think this is going to be 16 trillion by 2030, or do you think it's going to be much higher? I personally believe it's going to be much higher. $328 trillion in real estate globally. You have 300 trillion in debt. Also, you're talking about 12 trillion for gold. Silver's about 2 trillion, and I mean the bond market, guys, $100 trillion easy. And then you have the derivatives market, which is 600 trillion to 1 quadrillion. But you also have private markets, and nobody really understands how much money is in those private markets. But believe me, it's trillions, if not quadrillions of dollars. Republic of Palau and Royal Monetary Authority of Bhutan working with Ripple. See, Palau, and this is actually one of them that has been announced with Ripple. This is going to be Jeremy Hogan. Jeremy Hogan is going to comment about the SEC and what he thinks if appeals really possible. He's going to really, really surprise you here. And I'm in the same boat with Jeremy here. Let me go ahead and play this and we'll talk about it.
I'm in the minority that believes that the SEC will not appeal. And the reason is very simple. There's less to gain from an appeal than there is to lose. So if they were to lose an appeal, the SEC, what they would have done is they would have created binding case authority out of the Second District Court of Appeals, which is a very influential court. And every trial level court within the Second District would have to follow that law. And every trial court outside of that would have to look at that law and say, well, that's very influential because it's a higher level court. If they were to win, all they get is more money from Ripple. And if they were to lose, their whole litigation strategy is blown. And that's why I do not think we're going to see an appeal.
Even if the SEC wants to appeal, guys, it's going to be years before that is heard in court. And I think by then we're going to have a global regulation and the SEC will kind of fall by the wayside. This is from Crypto Geek, guys. And understand this, there's no way to verify this other than ask Bard the AI, but it says Bard AI confirms Forbes published an article titled "The New Bitcoin is XRP and it's headed to $59,000." Here's kind of what it was going to say. I guess it got removed right after posting. No way to confirm this really. But hey, if the AI says we're headed to 57,000 from Forbes or 59,000, I'm all for it, guys. I'd love to be a new billionaire. All right, this is about Flare. While holding only Flare, never switching MetaMask off networks, the Flare network can execute only one transaction and be providing liquidity to Ethereum liquidity pools on the Ethereum blockchain or any other layer 1. That is why Flare mixed with XRP is a dangerous combination of all this around the world. All right, so here is the bald person hated around the world, speaking about around the world, Gary Gensler, and he's going to talk to you the SEC and what they might do as far as appealing. Understand, he's one of 5 commissioners in the SEC, and when the SEC brings cases, the commissioners vote, and if it's 3-2 bringing a case, they will bring the case. But understand this, commissioners need to not have bias, which means Gary Gensler has already told us he thinks everything out here is a security. So his bias is already in there making these decisions. He shouldn't be able to vote on this with this extreme bias that he does have. And this guy, his days are numbered in the job. Believe me, they're eyeing to fire this guy because he has made a screwed up mockery of the entire crypto market. Think about 2022. How many billions of dollars were lost when he was meeting with Sam Bankman? He was meeting with the guy as he was scamming. That tells me that even if it's right in front of him, he still can't see it.
A topic which has gotten a lot of attention lately, crypto. Specifically, a ruling that was made in the Ripple case that XRP is only a security when sold to institutional investors, not so with retail investors. I know you've previously said you were disappointed by that ruling. The SEC has also said that it intends to seek further review. So does that mean you are going to appeal it? Can you elaborate on your thoughts around that ruling?
Kaylee, great question, but the commission...
Good question. I'll never answer it.
Commissioners. The commission has not acted on that, and if the staff makes a recommendation, we'll have a discussion of it, and we'll take it up then, but I don't really have anything more for you for that.
In the meantime, as we wait for this, what does it mean for your efforts around crypto, for your efforts to try to protect the consumer in these areas? Does it complicate it?
Look, this field of crypto, a lot of investors should be aware it's not only a highly speculative asset class, it's also one that they currently should not assume that they're getting the protections of the securities laws, even though the securities laws apply to many of those tokens.
Listen, guys, the reason why this is all screwed up is because the lack of the ability for the regulators, which is the SEC and the CFTC, to come out here and actually set ground rules so everybody can play by them. They're the one regulator on the planet that's got their head so far up their ass, they cannot tell what is going on, if this is right or this is left. That is what's going on. You look around the world, all of these regulators and all these other countries that are adopting regulation, they're working with the community. They're working with the ecosystem. This is the only guy hired by all of the bigger banks to slow crypto down and do as much damage as you can while you're there. That's his job. I bet you he goes off to a very cushy job at one of the big 4 banks, and hopefully we never see or hear from Gary Gensler again, because I've had it with the guy. He's a piece of... Okay. Volante, Volpay processor module will provide transactions for a large number of banks. Guys, Citibank clears 10 trillion a day by themselves. Volante clears 1.4 trillion every single day. Imagine when they really start to turn this on and use it. Do you think XRP is going to be at $1 or $5 or $10? I personally don't think so. 70% of global leaders say their confidence in the crypto market has increased in the past 6 months.
There's no doubt that 2022 was a momentous year in the world of crypto and blockchain. But even in spite of market turbulence, there's confidence in utilizing these underlying technologies for business applications. Our global survey found that more than 70% of finance leaders say their confidence in the crypto industry has actually increased in the past 6 months. And over half of these enterprise respondents plan to leverage crypto for payments. So what's driving this optimism? One thing's for certain, there's growing consumer demand and interest in crypto and blockchain technology, signaling a shift towards more mature, real-world use cases for financial institutions and businesses. For an exclusive look at other crypto for business trends,
I started hearing the beat, the techno beat. I'm like, drop the beat. Ah, man, I love techno. All right, U.S. presidential candidate Patrick Riley is saying that Ripple and XRP are coming for the #1 spot. And I actually have been saying this for the past couple of years. Look, understand this. Bitcoin is a store of value for the people that believe in it. You can't build on top of it because it is too slow. And it was the first of its kind, guys. once we figured out what all the kinks were on the Bitcoin blockchain, we created the XRP ledger, right? That is what is going to be used on the world stage to move value. But how the Bitcoin price will increase as more money goes in. But you cannot tokenize value and bring it onto the Bitcoin network. It can't handle that, okay? So when you can tokenize quadrillions of dollars of value out in the world, and you can bring that onto the XRP ledger, that is what is going to make it surpass the Bitcoin network. This is SBI Remit, guys. Let me just show you this. SBI Remit, AsiaNet, VC Trade, and this is the Philippines. Okay, guys, this is James Wallace. He is the VP of CBDCs, and he is the one talking with central banks every day. He's going to drop a fat hammer down on how many central banks Ripple's working with. It is going to knock your socks off. If you're not wearing socks, go put them on because they're about to get blown off.
I tell you that outside of the US, the SEC case, had almost no impact on our ability to get conversations and projects going with central banks. I know
the case had no bearing. What all these other central banks around the world didn't care what the SEC thought.
Here in the US, we focus a lot on the US, that's what you'd expect, but the reality is that the rest of the world does not see things the same way. I think it's been clear for a while that countries like the UK and Switzerland and Japan have been very clear that XRP is not. So anyway, moving on to the CBDC side.
He just said 3 central banks there: Japan, UK, and Switzerland. I do think all 3 of those are probably talking with them. We know Japan is, and we know the UK is, and I do think Switzerland is too.
It's not really been an impediment. Since we started 2.5 years ago on this project, we've announced 5 different countries that are working with us. We have a similar number that are not announced, and then we have 20 plus other
20 plus
active
others
discussions underway. So we've announced 5 different countries that are working with us. We have a similar number that are not announced, and then we have 20 plus other
195 central banks around the world, 15.38%, right? Understand there's several central banks too in America, but 195, over 15% of the globe is working with Ripple. That is why we talk about Ripple and XRP the most on this channel, because this is the best shot you and I and regular people have about becoming the new 1% over the next couple years. This is it. If you guys need help growing in the space, there's a link down for Cryptonaires in the description, guys. I made a ton of money for Cryptonaires members over the recent weeks. Man, I posted a project earlier this month. It's up 450% over these past couple of weeks, and I've been getting all kinds of lovely messages in the Discord thanking me for the information that we provide in the Cryptonaires Discord. Is it for you? We have a 7-day trial. If you come into the Discord and you don't like it, we will refund all of your money, but I guarantee you, you're going to love it. You're going to learn something, you're going to grow, and you're going to be telling all your friends about how great the community is. I'll see you around, guys. Thank you so much. Bye.